Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out football's funniest celebrations.
The football celebration can be an overwhelming expression of joy, or it could just be completely stupid. Sometimes it can be both. From fishes to indecent exposure, we're going to look at the most ridiculous ways goals have been celebrated. Icelandic Cluban are the kings of the funny celebration. This whole video could have been about them. We'll get to their most famous moments soon, but who could forget the time when the team assembled to create a human toilet, or the other time when they went full Transformers and morphed into a bicycle? Players often put the board under their shirt for a newborn, but they don't usually take on the role of the mother as well. And from giving life to taking it, full marks for this Rambo celebration. Featuring some hand-to-hand combat, handguns, then of course automatic weapons. Then there was the one where they decided to switch sports and take up some rowing, presumably because they needed a boat to pick up the catch of a very heavy fish that was reeled in expertly by the team's star striker for this celebration. Everything from the casting, the flapping around, all the way to the pose photo at the end is pulled off superbly with excellent technique. Surely, if this team spent as much time training as they did on their choreography, they'd win the Champions League with their eyes closed.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Taking...
Wait. So, FC... What was that? Who was that? What was that again? Stjarnan? FC Stjarnan? Okay. What's their deal? Who are they? What are they up to? Oh, they're from Iceland. Okay. That explains the name. Wow, yeah. How do they know what each person's gonna do? They have to rehearse these celebrations, right? I mean, they're pretty elaborate. The toilet thing, the bicycle thing. That's fun and all, but like, what's their record? Do they win games? It looks like they win once in a while. I mean, so they have reason to celebrate, but they don't really win away very often, looks like. But yeah, I appreciate the creativity and the sacrificing of a better football record for these moments of comedy. I appreciate it. Thank you, Stjarnan.
As they did on their choreography, they'd win the Champions League with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
Taking your shirt off as a celebration is now an offence, punishable by a yellow card.
Why?
But there are two players that have figured out an ingenious and a not so ingenious way of getting around this. Although it's the clever one that resulted in a red card, so you be the judge. First off, Merko Vichin. He's a player who likes to leave it all out on the pitch, including his clothes. In 2010, during Euro 2012 qualifying, he scored for his country of Montenegro against Switzerland, and to avoid removing his shirt, he removed his shorts instead. But he still got a yellow card for his striptease. Amazingly, this isn't the only time he's done this. The forward was playing for Juventus at the time, and he scored a penalty for his Serie A team against Pescara in 2013, and off came his bottom half again in joy. Clearly, he didn't learn his lesson, and he was booked again. Unfortunately, this second yellow was in a different game, so he didn't get sent off, sparing us all from watching this one again. Vichin isn't alone when it comes to this kind of celebration. Muang Thong United of the Thai Premier League, and in particular their fans, were treated to the kind of behaviour you might see on the back streets of Bangkok, when midfielder Mario...
Hang on. This is going so fast. This guy's taking off his pants. Okay. Looks like he might do a little shaving. Maybe he's going after a razor endorsement. Gillette.
Bangkok, when midfielder Mario Jurovsky scored a winning goal. He took his shorts off, put them on his head, and paraded around in front of his fans. The referee didn't see the funny side of Mario's Magic Mike impression and sent him off with a second yellow. Eric Hassley's approach was a little different, but with a similar outcome. The French striker was influential in Vancouver Whitecaps' first season in the MLS. The only issue was he kept getting sent off, and picked up 3 red cards in 26 appearances for the club. His best red card was saved for a game against the New England Revolution. After scoring a penalty, he removed his shirt and threw it into the supporter section,
he had another shirt on.
Revealing an identical shirt underneath. He must have felt smug, at least until he saw the referee, known for his love of the red card. He was...
he thought he was being clever. I mean, that is kind of clever. But you're taking a risk, right? Trying to get around these rules? Look at this ref, he hates it. So he played part of the game with 2 jerseys on. He must have been sweating so bad. Why can't you take your shirt off? The rule first took effect in 2004 for a number of reasons. First, it's meant to curb time wasting as much as possible, while it's also an act that could be considered unsportsmanlike. That's no fun. That's it. I don't agree with this rule. Let them take their shirts off, right? The pants thing, I could understand.
more than happy to give Hassley his second yellow card of the night and his marching orders. But that's not the strangest way a player has received a red card for a celebration.
What?
In the Italian lower leagues, a game between Ponticelli and Riolo Tur took an unexpected turn. The Riolo Tur striker put his team ahead after a classic lower league goalkeeper fumble. Despite the quality of the goal, the striker acts like he's just scored a worldie, avoids his teammates, and lets his joy out on the subs bench, forcing his head through the side of it. He understandably got himself sent off and probably sent to the hospital as well. Often an explosion of rage like this can happen after the release of emotion that comes with a goal.
Okay.
And this is the case with our next celebration in a really bizarre way.
Yeah. Those emotions take hold of you, and you smash your face through a glass.
Tamir Keket played for Newcastle in 1998, and when the midfielder bagged an injury-time winner against Bolton, he went berserk, taking his shirt off and kicking the hoardings in a way that might have looked like he really wasn't keen on advertising. Magpies legend Alan Shearer has revealed that the reason he went so crazy is because he'd been told by manager Kenny Dalglish that he was going to be benched for the game. His reaction was to throw his phone, not at the manager, but at a wall. And back in 1998, that probably did quite some damage to the wall. But the wall won, and Ketsbyer's phone was smashed to pieces, as was some of St James's Park the game the day after. If you don't know who Paul Gascoigne is, then he could be summed up pretty.
This guy just had a little rage fit. I mean, yeah, I guess you can't do that, right? It makes people feel unsafe. It's unsportsmanlike, as they say. And he took his shirt off.
Park the game the day after. If you don't know who Paul Gascoigne is, then he could be summed up pretty easily. He was a very talented footballer, he liked to drink, and he's got a great sense of humour. The next celebration combines all three of these things, and it's the first one of two that reference certain controversial off-field antics.
Okay.
Before Euro 96, hosted by England, the national team went on a pre-tournament tour of East Asia. This was back in the days when players used to have fun between games, and when I say fun, I mean drink. A lot, like student levels of booze. About 9 of the players decided to have a night out like this, but it was Gaza that was pictured in what looked like a consensual waterboarding incident. So when the player scored an iconic goal at Wembley against Scotland in the tournament proper, what else were his teammates going to do than surround him and squirt a water bottle into his mouth? Great goal, great celebration to match. Some honourable mentions before moving.
Okay, yeah, he didn't get penalized for that. That's good. Y'all, I don't know how they're going out drinking and then playing a game the next day. What? It's not like these guys are super young, you know? That's impressive, guys. I guess you don't need a healthy liver to kick a goal, right?
Bottle into his mouth. Great goal, great celebration to match. Some honourable mentions before moving on to our last celebration, which is probably the most controversial the Premier League has ever seen. Speaking of controversy, Jamie Vardy isn't one to avoid sparking off animosity towards opposition fans. In fact, he relishes it. Whether it's cupping his ears in front of raging fans, shushing raging fans, cupping his ears again in front of raging fans, taking a bow in front of raging fans, breaking the flags of raging fans, or of course, pretending to be an eagle in front of Crystal Palace fans. A slightly more innocent bird-themed celebration came courtesy of Cody McDonald for Gillingham against Carlisle in 2014. The striker coolly dinked the ball past the keeper in a one-on-one and paid tribute to the massively popular mobile game Flappy Bird. After stopping by the corner flag to compose himself, the 21-year-old striker pretended to be the app-dwelling bird as he flapped his arms before belly flopping on the turf.
Ow.
It's not exactly honouring the birth of your child or a deceased relative, but each their own.
How do we know he was doing the Flappy Bird? I don't see it. Also,
as he flapped his arms,
dude, you're gonna hurt your knees. He landed on his knees.
As he flapped his arms before belly flopping on the turf.
And he gets right up. I wish I was 21 again. Those were the days. You could pound your knees into the ground and get right back up.
It's not exactly honouring the birth of your child or a deceased relative, but each their own. We've already talked about the removal of shirts being banned for celebrations, and there's a really good reason for this. Diego Forlan. At the time, he was underperforming for Manchester United before it was cool. So when he scored a rare goal for the club, he understandably wanted to enjoy the moment. He removed his shirt and in Mario Balotelli style, struggled to dress himself afterwards. This led to the Uruguayan spending the next 3 minutes running around half naked like an indecisive player in a skins versus shirts match while chasing the opposition. FIFA didn't find this very funny, the rest of the world disagreed.
Okay, I could see why that would be against the rules now. It does waste time, and also this guy's running around with a shirt, like he could drop it, somebody else could trip on it, okay.
FIFA might have been cheered up by Danish FC Midland striker Ken Ilso and his teammates. After scoring against FC Copenhagen, he lined up his colleagues and got a strike while making the switch from football to bowling ball. They'd obviously
Awesome.
been watching videos of the Icelandics from earlier.
Yeah.
Must be something about the long dark nights in Scandinavia that inspires such complicated routines. Then there's the post-goal moments that just go plain wrong. For example, Ian Robin after he struck a quality double for Bayern Munich against Braunschweig. The quality didn't extend to the
You can do that? The ball went in the goal, it bounced back out, he hit it on his head and got another goal? That counts?
after he struck a quality double for Bayern Munich against Braunschweig.
Wow.
The quality didn't extend to the celebration as he mistimed the knee slide on the pitch, bouncing up off it and ripping his thermals in the process. His manager may have given him some choice words after, which is exactly what Jimmy Bullard was honouring when he scored. Back in 2009, Bullard equalised for Hull City away at Manchester City.
Nice.
And sat his team down in a circle before wagging his finger at them. This was in response to his manager Phil Brown's infamous dressing down of his side on the pitch after conceding 4 first-half goals in the same fixture the season before.
Oh,
but there's
wow.
one player that
That's funny. That's funny. Subversion.
definitely got a dressing down after his celebration, and that's Robbie Fowler. In fact, it led to a 4-match ban and a £32,000 fine. The
Oh.
Liverpool legend was influential in beating their Merseyside rivals Everton in 1999. After scoring a penalty, Anfield went crazy as Fowler made his way over to the away end, falling on all fours and sniffing the byline in response to accusations that the player liked to partake in a little more than energy drinks to get perked up before a game. It caused uproar behind the goal and was reported to police that had to move in to quell furious Toffee fans.
Oh, come on. That's hilarious. That's funny. He wasn't actually doing it.
The 2 games were added to his initial 4-game ban, taking it up to 6 to see out the 98-99
That's
season.
harsh.
Fowler's legal representatives called the punishment unjust and disproportionate.
Agree.
But he did the time, and as a result, lost the chance of winning the Premier League's Golden Boot. But we did get one of the best celebrations out of it, so personally, I think it was worth it. For
Yeah.
more football stuff, click these things. Cheers for watching.
Y'all be sure to go to Funny Old Game and like and subscribe. This was great. I love the celebrations. I think in American football, in the pros, in the NFL, they're allowed to celebrate to some degree, but in college, they're not. Like, you can give a high five to your teammate or whatever, but if you start, like, really trying to get the crowd into it, it's a penalty, which I think is dumb. Like, get the crowd into it, right? Keep people watching. Get butts in seats. Sell those tickets. Get those ad dollars, right? That's just me. I guess they want to maintain the integrity of the match and the game. But y'all, it's just a game. When it comes down to it, it's a game, right? Let's have fun. Let's celebrate. I don't think we have celebrations like that in America. I think in American football, you're not allowed to take off your shirt. You're not allowed to do that elaborate Icelandic turn into a toilet or a bicycle or a rowing crew. I think that would get you a penalty. I'm not sure why. Maybe for wasting time. I'm not sure why. But I don't think you can do that. And in college, definitely not. Even if you're like celebrating normally in a college game, you get a penalty, it seems like. Well, this is interesting. Y'all, let's all give thanks to those footballers who got banned or got a yellow card or a red card or penalties or whatever for us to enjoy it. Thank you, guys. True footballers, wherever you are. Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.